Welcome to Charts This Week. My name's David Linton. I run UpData, and this week's edition for Monday, the 17th of October, comes to you from London. And we start, as always, by looking at crude oil. Brent crude just really struggling at this $52 mark. We're testing the sort of high we saw in June. Correlation with the dollar. This is the dollar index on all this data coming to you from Thomson Reuters Icon. The correlation is rising but neutral at the moment, so there's not a strong correlation in either direction. We are above the clouds, so that's bullish. And the seasonality, we are bucking the trend on the seasonal. We would normally expect crude to be falling at this time of year. Definitely has done the last few years, but this time we're not falling, so we are bucking that seasonal trend right now. At the short-term chart, we are bearish below the cloud, and of course, if you want the targets in UpData, all you need to do is press the T key, and we do have upside targets to 54.70 and 54.40, so about 5% upside still there on the short-term chart, even though that we're temporarily bearish below the cloud. And on WTI, same thing again. Press the T keys. Upside targets here not activated. In fact, this last one on Brent not activated either. The one before is activated. But if you're trading crude for the short term, take a look at the 1 minute chart. This is 1 minute data all coming again from Thomson Reuters Icon, and we can see here we've got a mixed picture: downside targets and an upside target. A few percent either way, and if you adjust the box size, you can get right in and see these targets, and again the picture is either way, so just bear in mind that you need to keep an eye on those short-term charts. So crude's a hard call right now. If we look at US nat gas, nat gas has really been doing really well. Here we see the daily chart above the cloud. That's highly significant. In fact, if we go to the weekly chart, we see here that we are again just coming above the cloud. So this is a trend change going on nat gas, which is really powerful. So if we basically take a look at the daily chart, we're bullish. Here we see the seasonal trend. It's the time of year where we do tend to go up a little bit, and we are bullish on the 60-minute chart. And of course, press the T key on this chart, and you will get trends and targets. And we've got targets to 350, 368. That one's not yet activated. We need a new high above 335, 336 to activate that. But we are seeing quite a bullish picture emerging with US nat gas. On the 1 minute chart, if you're trading nat gas, remember this is really powerful, and we're seeing here upside and downside targets here as well. Take a look at European OTC products. So we look at MBP, this data coming off Trayport, off the Trayport dual screen, or off the UpData Energy feed. The choice is yours. You can connect to either. We see here MBP back above the cloud on the price and the daily. A slight negative correlation with Brent, so it is bucking the trend of crude. And we see here on the 60-minute, we are back above the cloud. Has been bullish now for about a good few weeks, MBP. Press the T key again on your UpData system. Upside targets to 47.95, 48.60, 46.50, anywhere between sort of 1.5% and 6% upside there. And the fact that there's multiple targets does suggest that really is more likely. It's what we call a cluster. The 1 minute data, really powerful. Again, you've got the 1 minute data coming off your Trayport database. Press the T key, will give you the upside trends and targets. These are the near-term targets, so it looks like another 1.5% upside in the next day or so. If we look at TTF, much the same picture here. We're above the cloud here on the daily and on the 60-minute chart. And if we take a look at that, let's press the T key. We get the targets. 4%, 3% upside. Quite a bullish picture here as well. MBP just looking a little bit stronger. A lot of that to do with currency, of course, as well. NCG and gas pool, much the same picture on the 60-minute charts, both above. So no big surprises there in terms of them following MBP and TTF. We look at German power. We see on the weekly, this is really significant. German power, for the first time in 5 years, is now just starting to come through the cloud. This is really, really significant. This is the first time that German power goes into a new trend here. We'd normally like to see a few weeks above, but we've now got quite a lot of headway that we can come back to the cloud. So this is really significant as well. And we look on the daily chart here. We see here how we came through the cloud, we've come back out, come high on this level. This is a continuation pattern. Big move sideways, another big move, highly significant for German power. And we press the T key. We've got an upside target of about 38. That's 20% upside just on that chart alone. And then, of course, that's on the daily chart. That's a medium-term target. This is the 60-minute chart. Press the T key again on your system. 4.7% upside, so really highly significant there as well. We take a look at the 1-minute chart. This is, of course, all your data off Trayport again. Press the T key. These are the immediate targets, and we see here we've got a little bit more upside to between 1 and 2%, so highly significant there as well. French baseload looking very strong as well. We see here on the 60-minute chart above the cloud. Italian power again, we're seeing that as well above the cloud, and then UK power as well. So really, energy markets starting to look really strong for the first time in a long time. If we take a look at the currencies, dollar index, the dollar looking strong, had a very strong week last week. We see here it's above the cloud, very significant. We're breaking to testing new highs here on the dollar last week, and we see here that reflected in the euro chart where we're back below the cloud on the daily, nudging this 109.5 level. So euro is starting to look weak against the dollar. If we look at the 60-minute chart, we see we're in a downtrend. Press the T key. We've got this 1001, so a euro to a dollar is nearly activated if we move below this low level that we saw at around 940. So a move below 940 would be very bearish for the euro. Strong dollar is what we're starting to see, and that's of course has a big impact on a lot of different things. Press the T key on the 1-minute chart, and we see here 106 as a target, 3% downside. You can play with these targets just in the bottom side corner here, and 109.05, that would activate those targets. So we have got quite a lot of short-term pressure on the euro this week. If we look at sterling, of course, we were very bearish on sterling, really for over a year or more, and we see here we've got targets of 108, even one below the dollar, where the sterling is worth less than a dollar. But at the moment, all the signs are to parity, and we see here we are, if we look at the 60-minute chart, we have a new downside target emerging today, 119.50. That's 1.7% downside, but that's not yet showing through. We see the euro sterling chart. This is a bit flat this morning, so no clear direction there. And much the same with other charts here. We see sterling Swiss, just another proxy for the sterling weakness. So keep an eye on those short-term charts this week. Last of all, we'll take a look at financial markets. I'll start with the S&P 500. Really struggling at the moment. This it's 2132 is where we closed on Friday. Really struggling to get above this, to hold this 2150 level. And this 2120 level is really significant. We see here on the daily chart. If we threw that, that's a lower low. We go back to test this 2000 level potentially. We are bullish on the weekly, bullish on the daily, but bearish on the 60-minute, with downside targets of about anywhere between 2 and 3%. So there is potential for the market to fall, even though the long-term picture looks pretty bullish. Much the same is true of the Nasdaq. If we take a look at the Nasdaq, we see here that we're bullish on the weekly, bullish on the daily, but bearish on the 60-minute. So again, a potential downside of about 3%. FTSE this morning is back below that 7,000 level, just can't hold that 7,000 level. So it's bullish on the weekly and the daily, but starting to become bearish again on the 60-minute chart, and we're seeing here now downside potential of around 3%. So markets potentially facing a sell-off. And we look at the DAX, much the same picture here. Just turning potentially a bit bearish here, but not activating the downside target, so not quite as bearish as the FTSE. If we take a look at gold, gold has really had a bit of a sell-off last couple of weeks, but it's this morning it's just starting to make some moves in either direction. We've got here 3% upside and 1.5% downside. This one activated, that one not activated. So it looks like gold might go a little bit lower still yet, and we're bearish, of course, here on the 60-minute chart. So we need to be aware of that. That's it for this week. Until next week, happy charting. See you then.